Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. So in this video, which is our third in a series in regard to putting an exploded assembly model into a drawing format, into our drawing template file, along with the bill of materials and balloons, in this video specifically, we're going to add our bill of materials. So let's go ahead and do this. If you go to Insert, go to a table, go to Bill of Materials. And what it's asking for is a drawing view that we want to associate the bill of materials to, and we're going to go ahead and click on the only view that we have here. And what it does in our Properties Manager over here is it opens up a dialog box with options. Now let's go start from the top of the bottom, maybe talk about some of these options over here. So the BOM standard is our standard BOM template. If we want a different template, I think there's 4 to choose from. What it does is it digs into the SolidWorks program file and goes to the place where these BOM templates are, and it gives us a choice. So we could do BOM for all different configurations that SolidWorks offers. There's BOM for circuits. There's a BOM for materials only, and there's a BOM for standard. Now with your BOM that we put in here, we can go ahead and make modifications to, which I'll show you in the next film. But we're going to stick with the BOM standard and just give us a start with that. Attached anchor point, I believe the 00 anchor point is either up in this corner or down here in the lower left corner. And what it's going to do is it'll anchor to that. May not be exactly what we want here, so we're not going to go ahead and choose that. And if you do choose that, you could always break that later. It's a fairly easy thing to do. The BOM type, we could do a top level, or we could do a part level, or we could do an indented. The top level, if you have a lot of sub-assemblies, which we don't have with this, and you probably don't have either, the top level will only include those sub-assemblies into our BOM. The parts will ignore the sub-assemblies and just put the parts in there only. And the indented will do the best of both worlds. It'll give you your sub-assemblies and the parts associated with those sub-assemblies as an indented element. Configurations, we're going to stick with the configuration that we have, which is the right assembly configuration. And over here for the part configuration grouping, if you have parts within a part, like different configurations within a part that may have different part numbers with it, we can take those part numbers out of the configuration or choose various options in that regard. So we're going to display everything as one item number in this, but we have 3 choices after that. You can display configurations at the same part as separate items. We could do that, which is probably the preferable one, or we can display all configurations at the same part as one item. Or we can display configurations with the same name as one item. So 3 different choices. If you have a configuration, if you have one part with a number of different configurations with a number of different parts that are associated with those configurations, the first one is probably the best choice here. Display configurations of the same part as separate items. And that's what we're going to do. If you have any missing items, you can go ahead and bring the information off from that missing item. If that missing item can't be found, you can still include it into the bill of materials, or if it's suppressed for some reason, you can bring that out. That's not really appropriate here. Item numbers, we're going to start at 1, increments at 1. We're going to stick with that. In regard to the borders, we're going to stick with the default settings for that. And for the layer, we're going to stick with, or we're going to choose actually our sheet notes layer, which comes in green. It comes in as a little bit more of a grayscale item here on our sheet when we print this out. So, phew, it was windy. As long as we're all done here, let's go to the green check mark. There's our bill of materials. We can take our bill of materials. Remember I said we could have that anchored in the corner up here to our fixed 00 element of our drawing, but we're not going to do that. But if you do take that move symbol over here and take our spreadsheet and move that around, we can actually anchor it. Not necessarily anchor it, but it snaps to the top border line over there. We can move it over here to the right, and it'll snap over here too. So it kind of lines it up pretty nice. It also comes with 4 columns. Our standard BOM comes with 4 columns. We're going to add a column in the next film and show you how that works. First column is item number, second column is part number, then you have description and quantity. And it's able to pick up these elements parametrically from the model itself. For instance, the part number might be something that you would assign on the configuration level. We'll go ahead and make changes to that. The description actually comes from the part itself, so remember I was nagging you about when you save your part, you might want to put a description for that part, all in capitals. For the elements that I've already saved that do have that description in there, it picks up that description from the part level and puts it into our bill of materials. there's some blanks in here, so I'm going to go ahead and open up some of these parts and go ahead and fill in the blanks. The desire here is to have a bill of materials that's complete and full. You want to make sure you have all your elements in here and all the columns and rows filled in appropriately. So I think that's enough for this film. I'm going to go ahead and conclude this, and we'll pick it up in the next film.